and enjoy fantastic online deals. TM Pick and Pay, real value always. It's time for the news.
Well, thank you for joining us. Welcome. This is the main news. My name is Patla Nepuren.
A very good evening. I am Irene Nyarambi. Nombo Mawungwa is at the Sign Language Desk. Let's take a look at our top stories.
Our top stories on this bulletin tonight. Construction of Victoria Falls multi-purpose cricket ground gathering momentum.
In other news, 3 bodies retrieved from an open trench at a city council sewer works in Budiriro 3.
We will look at your business news, where Treasury says it is consolidating stakeholder input for the 2026 midterm budget and economic review.
Our Mighty Warriors face Zambia in final of the Four Nations tournament this Tuesday. That and more in sport.
Straight to our leading story tonight. Construction of the Victoria Falls multi-purpose cricket ground is gathering momentum, with the local community anticipating significant economic and tourism benefits upon its completion. Now,
the development is in line with the President, Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa's call for government to facilitate the growth of sport and tourism in the country. Let's get more in that report.
By year end, this facility will be ready to host matches, and one major tournament will be the 2027 ICC Men's Cricket World Cup alongside South Africa and Namibia. Significant progress of the civil works is being witnessed here, with the main pitch having been completed. As countdown to the completion of Victoria Falls Cricket Stadium continues, people of Victoria Falls are equally optimistic about the advantages that will come with the completion of this stadium. Here is what some of them had to say.
It's going to promote sports tourism. Number 2, it's going to promote infrastructural development, creation of jobs, and tourism as a whole, because we have been a destination that is known, but obviously this will boost tourism in Victoria Falls.
To draw more people from all over, including tourists.
This stadium is it's a game changer in Victoria Falls. It's going to bring in a lot of income, a lot of tourists coming to Victoria Falls, since you all know that Victoria Falls depends on tourism.
To bring more tourists in the country, it will also generate revenue, which will be a great advantage for the country.
We are going to receive more clients on tourism, but on the side of the sport, we are going to benefit more, especially the young ones. It's a multi-purpose ground. So we are going to benefit especially trainings of the soccer, rugby and cricket as well.
Notable progress has also been made on the grandstands A, B and C, northern and southern media centers, players and VIP pavilions, as well as anti-doping and medical center. A substation house and additional 500,000-litre tank have also been installed on site. The developments are here not by coincidence. During the groundbreaking ceremony of the facility in 2024, President Emmerson Mnangagwa said his government is committed to infrastructure development, including that which is meant to promote sport tourism.
The one we are building here must not be below in standard to all international stadiums. The upgrading and the modernization of our sporting facilities across the country should equally be given appropriate attention. This includes the construction of new community sports facilities, introduction of bucket seats at our stadiums. Such interventions should nurture talent across various sporting codes and result in greater convenience for our sport-loving nation. While more efficient systems must see our clubs being professionally run and sustainably financed. The facility is set to become not only a premier sporting venue, but also a landmark for Zimbabwe's tourism and economic development. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
Now, what began as a tax on sugary beverages is now translating into life-saving healthcare infrastructure, with a second batch of cancer treatment equipment now in the country. Now, this marks a major milestone in the country's efforts to strengthen cancer diagnosis and treatment services. Now, Health and Child Care Minister Dr. Douglas Mombeshora and Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion Minister Professor Mthuli Ncube this Monday inspected the consignment at the Netfarm warehouse in Harare, reflecting government's commitment to modernizing healthcare in line with Vision 2030.
Here at Netfarm warehouse in Harare, the arrival of these sophisticated radiotherapy machines signals a major step in Zimbabwe's ongoing cancer care transformation program. The high-energy Linacs are designed to deliver precise radiation treatment to cancers located deep within the body, improving treatment accuracy while reducing damage to surrounding healthy tissue. Health and Childcare Minister Douglas Mombeshora says the country is moving from aging technology to modern cancer treatment systems capable of improving patient outcomes and increasing treatment capacity.
We are actually leapfrogging from where we used to have one machine working at Pari. So far, we are now going to phase 2. Phase 2, we are procuring diagnostic machines to aid in the diagnosis of cancer, so that we can pick our cancers in the early stages and they are managed. The third phase, we are looking at creating other cancer treatment centers outside these metropolitan provinces. We are now moving closer to the people, where we have targeted provinces like Mashonaland West, Chinhoyi Provincial Hospital, Midlands Provincial Hospital, and Masvingo.
Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion Minister Professor Mthuli Ncube says the initiative demonstrates how domestic resource mobilization can be transformed into tangible healthcare infrastructure.
A couple of years ago, we proposed that a sugar content tax, content in beverages, be introduced. It's been introduced, and we're delighted to see the results of that tax. Out of the 30 million that we've used so far, we've managed to procure the first set of machines under this program. One of the key pillars of our NDS2 is to support our citizens and improve their health and well-being. So this speaks to health and well-being.
From policy to patient care, the journey of the sugar content tax is now becoming visible. What began as a public health measure is increasingly funding specialized equipment, diagnostic services, and treatment infrastructure that could reshape cancer care in Zimbabwe for years to come. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, over 30 legislators have so far made their contributions in the debate on the Constitutional Amendment No. 3 bill in Parliament, with the majority in support of the proposed law. More parliamentarians will give their input when debate on the bill resumes tomorrow.
The Constitutional Amendment No. 3 bill debate started on Thursday last week after the second reading of the proposed amendments and the presentation of the Joint Parliamentary Committee report. The debate progressed well into Friday, with parliamentarians agreeing with the objective of lengthening the electoral cycle from 5 to 7 years. The proposal to allow the president to appoint 10 more senators and that of a parliamentary process for the election of a president were also endorsed overwhelmingly during the parliamentary debate.
Frequent electoral cycles result in projects being abandoned midstream, wasting public funds and leaving citizens with unmet expectations. An extended term ensures value for money, accountability, and completion of projects.
This shift from direct election of the president to indirect parliamentary election actually preserves adult suffrage as enshrined in the Constitution, that is Section 67.
Parliamentary presidential selection can coexist within constitutionalism. Electoral competition and rights protection, reinforcing that democracy is defined not by the method of executive election alone, but by the broader architecture of accountability and representation.
Also gaining traction is proposal to transfer the management of the voters' roll from the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission to the Registrar General's office, as well as the setting up of the Zimbabwe Delimitation Commission.
A nation that values democracy must ensure that every vote carries equal weight. And that constituencies reflect population, realities, geography, and the community identity. That is why delimitation must never be treated as an afterthought or as a side function buried within an overburdened institution.
Kodwa ngibone ngigcizelele lapho ukuthi iregister general kumele ithathe ukuthi bebhalisa abantu abazavota kuzaba lula ngoba kuzathi umuntu lapho esefikisa izinga lokuthi sele 18 years ukuthi selungele ukuvota bese bemthumela umlayezo ukuthi wena zibanabanyana usungabuya ubhalise ukuthi sulelungo lokuvota ngoba usuqanisile 18 years uthi labo abasebesichile emhlabeni kungavela kuthathwe incwadi yokufa i-death certificate bese bemsuse futhi ku voters roll ukuthi hayi lo akasekho emhlabeni ngekho aselalungelo lokuvota lo uzasiza ukuthi singabili ukuthi abantu abavotayo abayizipoko.
Most legislators are, however, opposed to the merging of the Zimbabwe Gender Commission and the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission, saying the commissions work better if they remain distinct.
I want to believe most women have been happy to have this commission in place because there are some successes that has been recorded when the commission was in place. Issues that deals with gender violence, the issue of upliftment of women. These are some of the things that our women are proud of when they talk of the Gender Commission. So in that regard, I want to strongly oppose the removal of Gender Commission from its current setup.
Gender Commission, tangatakafara kuti Gender Commission iripo, ina chairperson wayo, ine makomishena ayo, ichibva yangotarisa zvese zvebudiriro nezvema-human rights ari ikoko. And inenge ine chiremerera iri Gender Commission. Zvino ikazotorwa ikaenda kuZimbabwe Human Rights Commission, hatizvirambi zvedu, asi inenge yava department. Chiremerera chinenge chadini, chati bviswei.
Parliamentary debate on the bill resumes this Tuesday after the weekend break, with legislators set to vote at the conclusion of the debate. The bill will proceed to Senate if 2/3 of legislators vote in favor of the proposed amendments. Bruce Chawanda, SABC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe's election to a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council is expected to bolster the country's international standings, enhance investor confidence and accelerate economic diplomacy after being pursued under the Second Republic's engagement and re-engagement agenda. Now, this was said by the Minister of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion, Professor Mthuli Ncube, in Bulawayo today.
It's a triumph of the engagement and re-engagement objective for the President, for which is enshrined in our NDS2 and Vision 2030. But this engagement will unlock the right levels of economic diplomacy. It will unlock investment. It will unlock trust. It will unlock, all manner of things that go with relating to other countries and to contributing to a better world.
It's the third time that is happening, but this time it just feels so special. And we thank His Excellency for the effort he has put in.
This is a significant moment for Zimbabwe and for Zimbabweans. It means that Zimbabwe can now contribute to global affairs fully, shape their direction, shape the solutions that are needed. The world is in turmoil, and I know that his efforts will go a long way, his wisdom will go a long way in contributing to a better world. It's a proud moment for Zimbabwe and for all Zimbabweans.
It's the Minister of Finance and Economic Development and Investment Promotion there, Professor Mthuli Ncube, speaking on Zimbabwe's election to a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council. Elsewhere, Zimbabwe is hosting the fourth meeting of the national coordinators of the Group of Friends in Defense of the United Nations Charter in Harare. The meeting is being held in line with doctrines, a friend to all and enemy to none, as well as Zimbabwe will forever be a sovereign and independent state.
Representatives of countries mainly from the global south, including Iran, Cuba, Nicaragua, Palestine, and China, are meeting here in Harare for the 4th National Coordinators meeting. The meeting is being held by countries in defense of the UN Charter, particularly as conversations surrounding the reform of the global body continue.
In the next 2 days, we are expected to reaffirm the significance of multilateralism as enshrined in the UN Charter. It is our collective responsibility that it remains the foundation and standard upon which the conduct of all states must be measured. Of course, the UN Charter does not and have never claimed perfection, but we have to admit that it is the only robust and proven tool available for all humanity to settle disputes and safeguard world peace based on the sacred principle of multilateralism.
He said the meeting must reaffirm a firm opposition against the use of unilateral coercive measures.
If one nation says this is right because I'm powerful, then it must be right. It cannot be. And we always remind each other that power goes in cycles. Just imagine, with that attitude, one day, country X like Zimbabwe becomes that powerful and retains the favor. It cannot be a good world at all.
The 4th National Coordinators meeting of the Group of Friends to the United Nations Charter follows Zimbabwe's historic win at the United Nations Security Council, where it will serve on the council between 2027 and 2028. President Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa has maintained Zimbabwe's firm position on the global body, playing its part towards global development and peace efforts. Olina Ndori, ZBC News, Harare.
The First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, has rallied the African continent to come together in ensuring access to water for all, in line with the aspirations of Africa's Agenda 2063.
Many a times, Africa has been described as a rich tapestry of art, culture, and the people united by a shared history and an aspiration of a prosperous future. Marking a belated Africa Day celebrations, this rich diversity was displayed. The First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, represented by the Minister of Defense, Honorable Opamuchinguri Kashiri, celebrated the unity that exists on the African continent and her vision of ensuring equitable access to water for all.
The timing of the celebrations today could not have been better, coming against the backdrop of our emphatic election on 3 June 2026 as a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council for the period 2027 to 2028. The celebration provides an opportunity to reaffirm our collective commitment towards achieving the aspirations of Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. Agenda 2063 envisions a prosperous continent based on inclusive growth, sustainable development, sustainable water availability, and safe sanitation systems. These are not just peripheral goals, but they are foundational pillars. A continent that cannot assure water security cannot assure human dignity and security. A continent that cannot assure sanitation cannot fulfill the aspirations of its people to be happy, prosperous, and have fulfilling lives. Africa possesses vast freshwater resources, including major river basins like the Congo, Nile, Zambezi, and extensive groundwater aquifers. However, extreme uneven distribution, underdevelopment, and climate change mean that hundreds of millions still face chronic water insecurity, demanding aggressive transboundary cooperation and innovative infrastructure investments.
She also highlighted projects being spearheaded by the Angel of Hope Foundation.
Through the Angel of Hope Foundation, we are actively driving public health and sanitation improvements in Zimbabwe. Our initiatives range from nationwide disease screening and mobile clinics to zero-waste environmental campaigns and the provision of clean water infrastructure. Therefore, the Angel of Hope Foundation's nationwide activities dovetail well with the AU theme that we are celebrating here today. I will highlight a few initiatives of the Angel of Hope Foundation as follows. Zero waste and cleanliness initiatives. We have spearheaded the zero waste movement to promote proper solid waste management, construction of standard landfills, and waste recycling within local communities and government departments.
The celebrations served as a reminder of the strides made in advancing unity, economic transformation, and self-determination.
And on behalf of the Diplomatic Corps, I would like to extend our heartfelt congratulations to the President, His Excellency Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, the government and the people of Zimbabwe, and the dedicated diplomatic team led by Honorable Professor Murwira, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, on outstanding achievement of Zimbabwe being elected through overwhelming support to a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council for the year 2028-2029. Congratulations. Congratulations, Zimbabwe. Congratulations, Africa.
Our progress must be grounded in our heritage, ensuring that our production, our innovation, our technology are focused on our local environment. Everything that we require is here in Africa. We just have to apply our minds. As His Excellency the President of this Republic said, Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, nyika inovakwa nevene vayo, ilizwe lakiwa ngabanikazi vayo. A country and indeed a continent is built by its own people.
From the vibrant rhythms of its music and dance to the diversity of its traditions and languages, Africa continues to draw strength from its heritage while charting a path towards sustainable development and Agenda 2063. Pauline Ndori, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, one of the stories that has hogged the limelight during the course of today, the retrieval of 3 bodies from a mud-filled trench at a city council sewer work site in Mudiriro this morning. Let's find out more of what transpired in the next report.
The first victim, 19-year-old Saul Karakadzai, fell into this open trench while walking home. When the sub-aqua team responded to recover his body, they discovered 2 additional bodies in the same mud hole.
The farmer search pit. When I got 10 another 1 minute, the one that sanga name board. But that better body, that fill out the description, is different. Than what munu on the battle out in the manamdik. Body shubuda. Tupava. Watora mvura nuvadira body. Sankumana ngasha identify but asile muno ndandi naye. Radzokera. ndatanga kutsvaga futi ndatsvaga ndawana munhu padirwa mvura ndopatabva taona kuti uyu manje anga atooma tokonya atochinja kala. That means kuti munhu anga anyura maybe anga ane 2 days. Kuona chita asiri vanozobva kuti padapinda pekupesera ndatanga kutsvaga ndawana munhu ndakabata munhu wangu wanditi ndandamuwana saka ndichitsvaga ndaona kuti I'm running out of breath.
Another victim, 17-year-old Kimberly Munda, met her fate at the same spot.
Kimberly akabuda zvekuma 26 achienda kwamiki kunotsvaga muriwo. Ndobva tasvika asipo ndikosta story po tasvika asipo patakabvunza Kim anambora. Saka semusikana takambofunga pamwe ari muzviraundi. Pakazonoti pakauya masidha vakubuditsa ndopa akamba atanga kubuda ndiye Kimberly tikatowana kuti ko Kimberly angazosvika kusei.
Residents expressed concern over the open trenches and site security.
Vachera muna February ndobva vaenda vati tozodzoka chigadzira. Saka kubva ipapo kusvikira marimwe zuro ndopa vakazouya kuzotanga kugadzira uku.
Safety yakanyanya kukosha. Zvekuti dai pakabhariketwa I think vakomana vaigona kuona kuti pane danger.
Takutosha toshira vana especially vana.
ZANU-PF Harare Provincial Chairperson Comrade Goodwills Masimirembwa said the city of Harare should reinforce safety measures at construction sites.
Tiri kunzwa kuti Harare yose even kunana Glenora huko kunana Mbare huko kune makomba zvekare akawanda ari kuvhurwa nevanhu vekanzuru. Tiri kungokurudzira vanhu vekanzuru mainjiniya veDepartment of Works kuti zvinokosha kuti pavanenge vachishanda vabvura makomba vaise chenjedzo vavhare vanhu vasadarika nepo.
The Harare City Council and the Zimbabwe Republic Police confirmed investigations to establish circumstances leading to the deaths are underway.
It's a tragedy which needs to be investigated, and we need to get to the bottom of the matter. By tomorrow we will have some updates. If any of our officials are found culpable, then appropriate action will be taken.
We are currently conducting comprehensive investigations with a view of finding out what actually transpired.
Authorities have implored residents to stay away from construction sites and to use designated roads in order to avoid accidents of such magnitude. Festus Mkongurutse, ZPC News, Harare.
Very tragic indeed. And now on a more positive note, Bulawayo residents and motorists have described the ongoing rehabilitation of the Bulawayo-Matopos Road under the Emergency Road Rehabilitation Program 2 as central to improving economic activities of communities that rely on the route.
This road is an economic artery. It links the city of kings and queens with some of the country's top tourist destinations, including Matopo National Park. Hence, its revitalization is set to boost the country's tourism sector.
Mostly abantu Matopo bahamba by road, bahamba by air. So mkogodoza encourage abantu kuti labo abades motor bamele bahaye bazahamba kuhle nabo.
Ayasibisela abantu abaningi yasibisela le mali lenotho
kade sesitupekile kakhulu ngomgwaqo lo so kathesi sunje so siyathaba okunye okumalisayo.
For traders like Winnie Mlalas, who have been vendors for over 20 years, this road links them to the market as well as customers who buy their products.
Ma-90s 99 xa ngaphambanisa kwenqalisa ukuthengisela lapha ukulungiswa komgwaqo lo ayibona kuzasinceda njengama-vendors lapha ngoba siyabe sesihamba kuhle emgwaqweni kuyasiphutsha ngoba amatamatisi afike efile emabhokisini.
Motorists are pleased to see the work being done to transform the face of Matopos Road.
The way the road is being constructed, it seems that it's going to last us a lifetime before we come here for any renovations from now.
Suspension.
The transformation of Bulawayo-Matopos Road is set to be crucial in the economy. Lisa Correa, ZPC News, Bulawayo.
Well, the Zimbabwe Farmers Union, partnering with the private sector, has launched a village business unit competition to promote and complement the government's rural industrialization drive.
With over 1,500 village business units having been established countrywide, the Presidential Rural Development Program got another booster as the Zimbabwe Farmers Union ZFU and other developmental partners come on board to mobilize resources and viable markets for the rural empowerment projects.
We encourage more and more private players to come on board, because agriculture, when you're looking at a farmer is already private sector, supported by government, but we would want to see how that farmer can grow, how their initiatives can grow. That can only happen in that private sphere where the private sector is injecting capital so that we see the benefits of the initial investment that was given by government.
We started a few years ago, borehole drilling, installing sites, rural, mainly focused on rural development. Our goal is to increase productivity in this country. Our goal is to make sure everyone has access to clean water.
The Second Republic's long-term ultimate goal is to establish over 35,000 VBUs in all districts across the country to empower the rural community towards achieving an upper middle income society by 2030. Tendai Munengwa, ZBC News, Harare.
Our players in the industrial sector have applauded government for implementing a multi-stakeholder anti-smuggling strategy, saying it has enhanced demand for their project. Let's get that report from Owen Mandova.
Government has initiated a multi-stakeholder anti-smuggling campaign led by the Zimbabwe Revenue Authority in order to avert smuggling and also increase the country's tax revenue collection. One local manufacturer says this campaign has had a huge impact in terms of increasing demand for some of their product lines.
We've seen a lot of support from government against smuggling, and we've seen the benefit in our volumes. Particularly in some of the categories like rice is one example. We've seen very decent growth, and a lot of that is due to some of the support measures we've seen.
Buy Zimbabwe, which promotes the country's local content policy, is excited by this development, saying protecting the local industry from smuggling is essential to create the much-needed jobs.
Several products that have been smuggled can actually be produced locally, and this presents an unfair competition to our local manufacturers. It leads to our local manufacturers losing market share and ultimately a drop in sales, which will result in them cutting costs. You find that people will start losing jobs.
Economic analyst Takudzwa Chisango says government needs to sustain this campaign in order to provide a permanent solution to the scourge of smuggling.
This is quite key and very positive in terms of stimulating demand on local products, which has a huge positive multiplier effect in terms of job creation, as well as enhancing government tax revenue generation capacity.
Estimates suggest that the country loses at least $1 billion annually from smuggling. Hence, this campaign is not only expected to widen the country's tax base, but will also provide a huge impetus for local industry growth. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, just to let you know that there are more stories on our website. You can visit the website, it's www.zbcnews.co.zw. Also very much available on all social media platforms. You can just look for ZBC News Online, get all the latest bits on the stories that we have given you. Something that you might have missed, you also find it there.
And our 4 stories are still to expect in this bulletin. Treasury consolidates a stakeholder input for the 2026 midterm budget and economic review. And Mighty Warriors face Zambia in the final of the Four Nations tournament this Tuesday. Main News takes a break. We'll be back.
We've always known what it takes to grow, but
But this is what it feels like to finally step inside the dream. It's that quiet moment when a room holds everything it used to be and everything it made possible. The "this is actually mine" feeling when the first payment hits. That pure adrenaline from a small space to an empire you rule. And when you said you'd almost sleep in your first car, we made sure you actually did. Plans may adapt, circumstances will evolve, but your growth, that's non-negotiable. Bank on growth with Stanbic Bank Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is our home, and we drive her growth. Stanbic Bank is a registered commercial bank and a member of the Deposit Protection Scheme.
The voluntary disclosure opportunity is open to taxpayers who may not yet be fully compliant with their tax obligations. This includes unregistered businesses, informal sector operators, online and digital service earners, trusts, rental income earners, transport and taxi operators, as well as virtual asset traders. Take this opportunity to regularize your tax affairs before the 30th of June 2026 and move forward with confidence. Step forward, disclose, comply.
The future of broadcasting is here. As technology transforms the way we create, distribute, and consume content, Zimbabwe's broadcasting industry must innovate, collaborate, and adapt. Join broadcasters, policymakers, regulators, content creators, academia, technology innovators, investors, advertisers, and development partners at Zimbabwe's premier broadcasting industry gathering. Engage in critical discussions on artificial intelligence, digital transformation, content innovation, audience engagement, media sustainability, content monetization, platform governance, and the future of broadcasting. Be part of the conversation shaping Zimbabwe's media future. Annual Broadcasters Conference 2026, Shaping the Future of Broadcasting. This message is brought to you by the Broadcasting Authority of Zimbabwe in collaboration with the National University of Science and Technology.
Oh, great to have you back. The government says it has transformed the tertiary education sector to focus on science, technology and innovation development to propel the country's industrialization aspirations.
The Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, Dr. Frederick Shava, has reiterated government's commitment to transforming the tertiary education framework such that it produces graduates that are not only qualified but are rather relevant and skilled to respond to the needs of industry. Now, the Minister was speaking after a familiarization tour of the Tertiary Education Service Council held in the capital this Monday.
TESC is a council that seeks to assist technical colleges, teachers' colleges, industrial training colleges. And all these institutions fall under it. With respect to Education 5.0, this is where our instructors are taught about its importance. And we believe that if they are properly facilitated, they certainly will consolidate our approach to Education 5.0.
The Tertiary Education Service Council and the Zimbabwe Council for Higher and Tertiary Education said they are now working to digitize services to match international standards.
Our key function is to ensure that the human resources requirements of these entities, teachers, colleges, polytechnics, is properly coordinated and harmonized.
President talks literally on a daily basis that this country is built by its own people. For us, that means that people in our universities that teach and the students that learn in our institutions of higher learning, when they come out, They've got the knowledge, they've got the competencies, they've got the attitude, they've got the skills, they've got the wherewithal to actually take part in the development of this country.
Dr. Shava further highlighted the strategies government is putting in place in order to achieve the goals of Pillar 5 of the National Development Strategy 2, which speaks about the need for science, technology, innovation, and human capital development. Panashe Nagoli, ZBC News, Harare.
The Beitbridge community has welcomed the commencement of construction works on the border town's new central business district. The project has seen an increase in business activities and employment creation in the town.
The Second Republic's continued support towards infrastructure development to promote economic growth and national transformation has seen Beitbridge town engaging private land developers in the construction of the border town's new central business district. The project has also created employment for locals.
We engage Beitbridge ukuri tusa kauri verine vadzura for wanevo mishumo tini kuona rinane ndienefa ndowana vo mishumo
rikoliwa muvuso kha utikedza dorobo yashu ifa pano Beitbridge uri ialuwe
rikoliwa company yosika pano ayani rune rikoliwa rowana okono farafara.
The local leadership is confident the project will change the face of the town.
Kaipa tuwezwavuti ibe sadorobo kulwana nibe na masters na riri pano ritongise.
I just want to thank the government for giving us an opportunity to partake in this infrastructure development project in Beitbridge.
The support of government is very important in such a project. This is a very big project that's going to be the face of the town. We want in this place to have structures that are very modern, structures that will give us a face, structures that will deliver us into 2030.
Servicing this CBD extension will give us the foundation to set up more modern infrastructure in line with NDS 2. They officially declare the servicing of this CBD officially commenced.
The Second Republic has set Zimbabwe on the path of inclusive and sustainable development to achieve an upper middle income society by 2030. Aifeli Mudau, ZBC News, Beitbridge.
Well, Southern African nations, home to the world's largest elephant population, are renewing calls for greater authority over wildlife management and trade. They argue that international restrictions are impacting on the region's conservation efforts.
The debate is expected to dominate high-level meetings of the Kavango-Zambezi Transfrontier Conservation Area, which opened in Victoria Falls this Monday, bringing together officials from Angola, Botswana, Namibia, Zambia and Zimbabwe. The five-country conservation block spans over 500,000 square kilometers and supports an estimated half of Africa's remaining elephants, making it the most significant wildlife landscape in the world. For years, growing elephant numbers have become both a conservation achievement and a management challenge, with communities increasingly bearing the cost of human-wildlife conflict, crop destruction, and competition for shrinking natural resources. Zimbabwe's permanent secretary in the Ministry of Environment, Climate and Wildlife, Mr. Simon Masanga, said member states will continue pressing for greater recognition of the region's conservation record, particularly regarding the trade of elephant-derived products.
It has always been an issue at CITES meetings so that the region be allowed to trade in products emanating from elephants. Zimbabwe has been allowed provisionally to use elephant leather to develop products that can be traded. You know that we have to maintain a sustainable elephant head, but we are not allowed to take any action without the express authority of CITES.
CASA Secretariat Executive Director Dr. Nyambe Nyambe said the region has made significant progress since the last summit of heads of state and government, including securing fresh funding aimed at strengthening conservation and community resilience.
This resource is particularly critical to the advancement of CASA in addressing several priorities. including updating of integrated development plans across the partner states and also at a transboundary level, the development of conservation strategy and action plan for CASA. This is particularly important to identify the priorities for conservation.
Delegates meeting in Victoria Falls are expected to review progress on regional conservation strategies, tourism development and community-based natural resource management before recommendations are presented to the Council of Ministers later this week. Iland Moyo, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
Now, South Korea is ready to deepen cooperation with Zimbabwe on strategic digital literacy programs, building on the massive $350 million United States investment pumped into the National Information Access Center. Speaking after meeting the Minister of Information, Communication Technology, Postal and Courier Services, Honorable Tatenda Mavetera, in Harare this Tuesday, South Korea's envoy to Zimbabwe, Ambassador Jae Kyung-pang, said this collaborative effort will be vital in positioning Zimbabwe as a competitive digital economy through artificial intelligence and high-end technology innovation.
The key issue, the digital transformation and AI. Honorable Minister and I discussed on the issue of digital transformation. Particular emphasis was laid on the artificial intelligence. I was happy to share with the Minister how we, the Korean governments and Korean companies are doing in this AI transformation. And Minister also elaborated the AI strategy of Zimbabwe, and we both understood there's strong similarity despite the difference in environment and other contextual situations. But we do believe those similarities will continue to make us collaborate together. So one example is we do understand the importance of sovereignty issues, the data sovereignty and calculation sovereignty, or towards the so-called sovereign AI. And also we do highlighted the similarity of increasing the digital literacy or AI literacy.
Right, South Korea's envoy to Zimbabwe there, Ambassador Jae Kyung-pang, speaking after meeting the Minister of ICT, Postal and Courier Services, Tatenda Mavetera, today. Now, the government says it is impressed by collaborations between communities, local authorities and other stakeholders in infrastructure development. This coming after the commissioning of a classroom block at Ruimbo Primary School in Chinoi today.
Our school, our community, our pride. Let us embrace Vision 2030 by developing it. Let's advocate for development.
Efforts to improve learning infrastructure in Mashonaland West Province received a huge boost following the commissioning of a 1x4 classroom block. Now this development is expected to ease congestion as well as improve learner education. School authorities, parents and learners hailed this development, saying investment in learning infrastructure is key in improving quality education.
The opening of this school block therefore forms part of our broader efforts to address growing demand for educational facilities and ensure that every child has access to quality education.
We encourage you to make full use of it by dedicating yourselves to your studies, respecting your teachers, taking care of this infrastructure.
Commissioning the building, Mashonaland West Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Marian Chombo, held the collaborative effort between the community, the school and the local authority. She rallied the community to take care of this new development, reminding them that the country is built by its own people.
President wedu His Excellency Dr. Idi Mnangagwa kuti we should have a whole of government, whole of society approach ndo irikitika muno nekuti hurumende tiri tega tinoziva tine shortage yezvikoro yakawanda asi hurumende iri yega haikwanisi kuti inge ichita meet the demand.
Meanwhile, government continues to prioritize improvement of learning infrastructure as key catalyst towards the attainment of Vision 2030. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Chinoi.
Main News takes a break. We will be back with business and other news.
The Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Mashonaland Central Province, Honorable Christopher Magomo MP, the Secretary for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Mr. T. Maregere, and the entire office joined the people of Zimbabwe and the international community in congratulating His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, on Zimbabwe's historic election to a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council during elections held at the United Nations headquarters in New York on the 3rd of June 2026. This remarkable diplomatic achievement is a clear testament to the success of His Excellency's visionary foreign policy anchored on the principle of friend to all and enemy to none. It reflects the confidence and trust that the international community has placed in Zimbabwe's commitment to peace, dialogue, multilateralism, sustainable development, and respect for national sovereignty. Congratulations, Makorokoto Amhlope, Your Excellency.
The chairperson of the Zimbabwe Foreign Service Institute, Board of Governors, management and staff extend their profound congratulations to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Professor Amon Murwira, and the Permanent Secretary for Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Ambassador A.R. Chimbindi, and the people of Zimbabwe on Zimbabwe's successful election to the United Nations Security Council for the term 2027 to 2028. This historic achievement underscores Zimbabwe's principled diplomacy, steadfast commitment to multilateralism, and its respected role in advancing international peace and security. The election reflects the confidence of the international community in Zimbabwe's ability to contribute meaningfully to the maintenance of global peace and cooperation. The Zimbabwe Foreign Service Institute takes immense pride in this milestone and reaffirms its readiness to support Zimbabwe's tenure on the Security Council, guided by the Constitution of Zimbabwe, the Doctrine on Foreign Relations and International Cooperation, and the Foreign Relations and International Trade Policy. This election is not only a national triumph, but also a testament to Zimbabwe's enduring dedication to constructive engagement within the United Nations ecosystem. Congratulations on this well-deserved honor to serve at the global stage.
From 11 June to 19 July, everything can wait. The FIFA World Cup 2026. Catch all 104 matches from as little as $10. Live on SuperSport, only on DSTV.
Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned. We now take a look at our business news. Now, Treasury is gathering stakeholder input for the 2026 midterm budget and economic review to ensure an inclusive process that will consolidate socio-economic development gains being recorded across the country.
According to Treasury, the budget review, which will be presented on the 30th of July this year, seeks to provide an update on the performance of the economy during the first 6 months of this year, while also outlining expectations for the remainder of the year. Chairperson of the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Budget, Finance and Investment Promotion, Honorable Lincoln Liwayo, explained the importance of stakeholder consultations.
The mid-term fiscal review will be looking at whether that budget, the 2026 budget, is still speaking to the current economic realities, so that if there is need to change, if there is need to supplement, then the Honorable Minister of Finance may do it. In the budget process, we have to include all the stakeholders, and the stakeholder includes the general public. So we have to get the ideas, we have to get their inputs, so that those inputs are included in the budget review.
As the nation is also experiencing overall macroeconomic stability, University of Zimbabwe senior lecturer in the Department of Economics and Development, Professor Albert Makochekanwa, also reviewed the importance of the mid-term budget review.
In terms of mid-term budget review, the government needs to stay on course. I think there's not much need for any changes because everything so far is stable. So it's good that we maintain the budget in terms of our expenditure as the original budget.
Presenting the 2026 national budget in November last year, the Minister of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion, Professor Mthuli Ncube, pegged this year's expenditure plan at over 290 billion ZiG, or 9.5 billion United States dollars, which is slightly above the 276 billion ZiG, or 9 billion United States dollars for 2025. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
And that report from Stanley, I'll look at your business news. Now, if you've liked a song in the last 2 or so months, it's most likely an AI-generated song. Now, there's a whole raging debate around AI and music, and that is the content of our next report.
Songs including Dakaina Matira and Mwararipo have demonstrated the growing appeal of artificial intelligence-generated music, drawing huge online audiences and proving that listeners are increasingly embracing the technology. But their success has triggered a difficult conversation within Zimbabwe's creative sector, where many artists argue that music created entirely by AI should not compete with human compositions for airplay, awards and royalties.
According to the laws that I've researched around the world, if you use AI as a collaborative tool or as a creative tool, you own the song 100%. But the problem comes when you just prompt AI to do everything for you. My proposal is that music created by AI should not be played on national radio. It must not get awards.
The concerns are shared by some industry promoters who say AI is already disrupting the local music ecosystem and forcing broadcasters to rethink what belongs on mainstream platforms.
It would be a bit unfortunate or unfair to include AI-generated music on chart shows, on playlists, and also in awards, on awards platforms. But however, if people are in demand of AI music, it may also create a bit of a challenge also for media platforms such as radio stations, whether to play or not to play.
AI experts, however, said the industry should adapt, arguing that technology has always transformed the creative process.
Rather than fighting AI, let's adopt it. Let's work in collaboration with it. Let's involve it in our creative process.
So for a country like Zimbabwe, I think the biggest focus is, number one, to train these artists and musicians to use AI as a tool. So if you move to put regulations before these guys can take advantage of the advantages of AI, they'll be left behind.
As AI continues to reshape the global music landscape, Zimbabwe's creatives are being challenged to find a balance between embracing innovation and protecting the artistry, livelihoods, and human experiences that have always given music its voice. Patience Nyagato, ZBC News, Harare.
Interesting topic there. Now, Main News takes a break. We will be back with sport.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade congratulates the President, His Excellency Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, and the people of Zimbabwe on the country's resounding election as a non-permanent member of the United Nations UN Security Council for the term 2027 to 2028. Zimbabwe has, for the third time since independence in 1980, secured a seat among 14 other member states on the UN Security Council, charged with the important responsibility of promoting and maintaining international peace and security. Zimbabwe's 182 out of the 190 valid votes cast represents a firm and decisive vote of confidence by 96% of the membership of the United Nations, and is a clear indication of the efficacy of the country's engagement and re-engagement agenda under the astute leadership of the President and Chief Diplomat, His Excellency Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, guided by Section 12 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe and through the doctrine of Zimbabwe's foreign relations and international cooperation. Zimbabwe's tenure in the UN Security Council will advocate for the peaceful settlement of disputes through dialogue, diplomacy, and mutual understanding, while supporting efforts to address the root causes and drivers of conflict. Support Africa's efforts to silence the guns. Promote deeper cooperation between the Security Council and regional organizations and mechanisms, and advance the women, peace and security agenda, as well as the youth, peace and security agenda. Zimbabwe expresses gratitude to the SADC region and the African Union for their endorsement, and to UN member states for supporting its candidature, and commits to serve with humility, integrity, and unwavering commitment to the purposes and principles of the Charter of the United Nations, and to collaborate with other elected members of the UN Security Council and the entire membership of the UN family to advance the peace and security agenda of the world. Makorokoto Amhlope. Congratulations, Your Excellency. The Ministry wishes you and the people of Zimbabwe a successful and impactful tenure on the UN Security Council. Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, for the integrity, dignity, and prosperity of Zimbabwe.
This June, step into a bigger entertainment experience with more to love on Us. We're talking more drama, more action, more unforgettable stories, all waiting for you.
All hands on deck.
We're opening up our world of entertainment so you can view more.
Good job, partner.
This June, pay for your current DSTV subscription and we'll upgrade you at no extra cost.
Welcome back, and now in sport, we start off with cricket, where Zimbabwe A suffered an 85-run defeat to Bangladesh A in the first of 3 one-day matches at the Shahid Shandhu Stadium in Bogura today.
Zimbabwe A won the toss and elected to bowl first against the Bangladesh Imagine in the opener. Bangladesh Imagine posted a commanding total of 364 all-out in their 50 overs, led by a century from Zakir Hussein's 119 off 98 balls and contributions from Iftaka Hussein Ifti with a 70 off 58. For Zimbabwe A, Ernest Masuku took 3 for 70, while Atnam Naki and Chinotenda Maposa claimed 2 wickets apiece. In reply, Zimbabwe A were bowled out for 279 in 48 overs, despite a brilliant century from Wesley Madevere, who scored 116 off 93 balls, and a half century from Matthew Kampal, who managed 52 off 57 balls. Bangladesh Imagine's 3 bowlers each took 3 wickets to seal an 85-run victory. Zimbabwe A will look to bounce back when they return to the crease on Wednesday for the second ODI match. The series is aimed at preparing Imagine cricketers to the demand of international cricket. Anna Shembrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, the Zimbabwe women's national football team, the Mighty Warriors, are seeking to claim bragging rights in the Zambezi battle when they clash with Zambia in the final of the Four Nations tournament tomorrow.
The Mighty Warriors booked their place in the final with a commanding 3-1 victory over Lesotho in the semi-final on Saturday. After Lesotho's beautiful flowers drew first blood in the 37th minute, Zimbabwe responded with character, finding the net in the 31st minute before half-time, then sealing the deal with the 2 second-half goals in the 68th and 85th minutes to book their place in the championship match. Zambia, meanwhile, progressed from the other semi-final after defeating Kenya, setting up a showdown between two of Southern Africa's women's football rivals. The Battle of Zambezi, Monica, isn't just poetic. It captures the fierce but friendly rival between these two neighbors, separated by one of Africa's greatest rivers. The tournament, featuring Zimbabwe, Lesotho, Kenya and host Zambia, has served as a crucial platform for teams to fine-tune their squads ahead of upcoming Olympic qualifying campaigns set for Malawi in October. With both the teams eyeing regional bragging rights and valuable FIFA ranking points, the encounter is set to be a high-intensity affair. Zimbabwe will enjoy home advantage and the backing of their passionate Copper Queen supporters, but Zimbabwe's resilience and a growing confidence after their semi-final comeback could make them a dangerous proposition. Anashe Mrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
The reunion of 2025 Soccer Star of the Year, Washington Navaya, and Zambian coach Kelvin Kaindu seems to be working out well at league debutants Hard Rock, who are soaring high in the Casalaga Premier Soccer League campaign.
A case of a discarded stone which later proved valuable after a change of environment best sums up Washington Navaya's life. The former Highlanders player has found a new lease of life at New Boys Hard Rock after reviving his career at Tier 1 last season, claiming the Golden Boot and Soccer Star of the Year accolades. Navaya once worked under Kelvin Kaindu at Highlanders. Nicknamed the Messiah of Zimbabwean football due to his outstanding work at Highlanders, the now defunct Hauman Triangle Dynamos, which he saved from relegation last season, Kaindu is a revered figure in local football. As fate had it, Navaya and Kaindu had been reunited at New Boys Hard Rock, where the coach's Midas touch and the players' goal-scoring instincts have propelled the league debutants to the summit of the table. The dependable gunslinger scored a brace against Zimbabwe on Sunday as Kaindu's charges clinged onto pole position, albeit on goal difference ahead of Scotland and Cape United, who also collected maximum points at the weekend. The goals took Navaya's tally to 8-1 adrift of top scorer Ralph Kaunder of Rentals. With the league now at the halfway stage of the season, Hard Rock, Scotland and Cape United are tied on 31 points. Hard Rock are however awaiting determination of their match against Dynamos, which was abandoned with the teams tied 1-1. The league is shaping up to be one of the most fiercely contested in recent years, and only time will tell if Kaindu will wield his magic and finally wrestle the coveted crown from fellow experienced gaffers Norman Mapes of Scotland and Texua Chirag of Cape United. Mthokozi Dube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Well, the countdown continues to the FIFA World Cup, and that takes place in the next 3 days. Canada, Mexico and the United States will host the World Cup, and Senegal among the African countries that is expected to fly the African flag high.
There is a particular weight to this Senegal squad as they arrive in the Americas with a squad that carries the weight of past glory and the sting of a recent injustice. Just months after being crowned champions of the 2026 Africa Cup of Nations, the Lions of Teranga were stripped of the title by CAF in a controversial decision that remains under appeal at the Court of Arbitration for Sport. That ruling, which awarded the trophy to host Morocco, has left Senegal having a lot to prove heading into the global showpiece. They are not merely there to compete, they want to make a statement that no administrative decision can silence the Teranga Lions. At the heart of the squad is Sadio Mane, the 34-year-old forward who remains Senegal's all-time leading scorer with 53 goals in 126 international appearances. After briefly stepping away from international football after the AFCON controversy, Mane returned to lead his country one last time on the world's big stage. Now playing his thread with Al Nassr in the Saudi Pro League, Mane may have lost a yard of pace, but his football intelligence, leadership and ability to deliver in crucial moments remain undimmed. This is his final World Cup, and every touch he takes will carry the weight of a legacy that has already cemented his name among Africa's greatest ever players. Alongside him stands Khalid Koulibaly, a 33-year-old defensive anchor who plays for Al Hilal, whose physical presence and organizational skills remain the foundation of Senegal's backline. In midfield, Idrissa Gueye is one of the most experienced players and is expected. At 35, his team relies on his relentless pressing and ball-winning abilities that have defined his career at Everton and beyond, while goalkeeper Edouard Mendy brings the big tournament pedigree of a 2021 AFCON triumph and a UEFA Champions League title with Chelsea. But this is not merely a story of veterans holding on. Head coach Papi Thiaw has assembled a squad that pulses with young energy and emerging talent. Forward Ismaila Sarr has been in excellent form for Crystal Palace in the English Premier League, offering the kind of explosive pace and transition that keeps defenders awake at night. Chelsea striker Nicholas Jackson, who spent last season at Bayern Munich, brings a different kind of threat up front, and his team will be relying on him for goals. Other names to watch out are Tottenham's 22-year-old Pape Matar Sarr and Ibrahim Baye, an 18-year-old PSG Academy product who represents the future of Senegalese football. Senegal in Group I, one of the tournament's most intriguing and challenging sections, alongside 2018 champions France, Norway and Iraq. They opened their campaign on June 16 at MetLife Stadium in East Radford, New Jersey, against a French side that knows all too well the danger Senegal poses. It was here, in a sense, that this story began when Aliou Cissé, now president of the Senegalese Football Federation, captained a Senegal team that stunned defending champions France 1-0 in the opening match of the 2002 World Cup. 24 years later, France awaits again, this time with the Kylian Mbappe leading a squad dripping with the talent. A positive result, even a draw, would set the tone for everything that follows. 5 days later, Senegal returns to the same MetLife Stadium pitch to face Norway, a side built around the goal-scoring phenomenon of Erling Haaland. This is where Koulibaly's experience will be tested against raw power and elite movement, when Senegal's defensive organization must be immaculate to contain a Manchester City striker who scores for fun. The final group match on June 26 takes them to BMO Field in Toronto, where they face Iraq in what could be a qualification decider. Anna Shembrombezi, ZBC News, Harare.
That report from Anna wraps up sport. It's now time to take a look at the weather report.
Hello, welcome. Christine bringing you today's weather news. Yesterday, residual moisture over the northeastern parts of the country led to isolated thunder showers in Gurube, Mutoko, as well as Nyanga district. Now, looking at what transpired today, we had cold morning conditions affecting much parts of the country, with some areas even experiencing slight ground frost. However, as we got into the afternoon, it became warm in all areas before temperatures dropped again towards the evening, returning to cold conditions. Now, moving on, Matopos had moderate ground frost, with even recording 0 degrees Celsius, as well as Chivu, among other areas in Masvingo province. Chipinge at 1 degree Celsius, as well as Chisumbanji. Tonight, we're expecting overnight clear skies, which may lead to very cold morning conditions over Matabeleland South areas into the southern parts of the Midlands, as well as Manicaland province. Tomorrow, it should be generally warm, with sunny skies affecting all areas. Slight increase in maximum temperatures over the southern as well as the northwestern parts of the country. Plawai should be cold at first, becoming warm as the day progresses under sunny skies throughout the forecast period. Now, as we move on, Matopos as well is expecting cold conditions at first, getting warmer by the day under sunny skies. It should get cold towards the evening. Moving on, Gwanda, Matabeleland South is expected to be cold in the morning, becoming warm as the day progresses under sunny skies throughout the forecast period. Some light winds here and there. Gweru as well. Very cold morning conditions with warm afternoons under sunny skies. Masvingo, relatively cold conditions in the morning, getting warmer as the day progresses under sunny skies. Mutare, Manicaland area, we're expecting cold conditions at first, becoming warm by the afternoon, with sunshine prevailing throughout the forecast period. Nyanga as well, very cold in the morning with chances of slight ground frost in places. Warm by the day under sunny skies with some light winds here and there. Marondera, cold in the morning, becoming warm by the afternoon under clear and mostly sunny conditions throughout the forecast period. Harare as well, we're expecting cold conditions in the morning, warm temperatures during the day of 25s and 26. Warm by the day for Kadoma under sunny skies, though it should remain cold in the morning and towards the evening. Same applies for Chinhoyi to the northern parts of the country. Cold mornings are expected, getting warmer by the day throughout the forecast period. Victoria Falls, a bit of clouds is expected on Tuesday, though it should be generally cool in the morning, becoming warm by the afternoon. Mad, Tepelen and North for Lupani. Cold conditions are expected in the morning and towards the evening, though it should remain warm for much of the afternoon throughout the forecast period. Bindura as well. Cold conditions are expected throughout the forecast period under sunny skies, though afternoons should be in the warm category. Kariba as well. Mild morning conditions with warmer afternoons under sunny skies. That's all weather news today. Thank you for tuning in. Stay safe, keep warm, especially during the early hours of the day and towards the evening. Good night.
Right, the weather report and forecast bringing us to the end of tonight's main news. Irene.
Good night.